I am the Highland scribe, scribe to the stones, to the winds, to the bloodlines that walk unseen. Come closer, closer still. You see, the fire's warm, but this tale tonight, this tale runs wild. This tale is of Brude and the storm dancers. Now you see, in the 9th century, when Scotland was a wilderness of mists and broken stones, the land itself seemed alive with dread. Forests that stretched endlessly, black and dripping, where wolves, they ran silently between the trees, and the mountains loomed over like sleeping giants. The sea clawed at the edges of the isles, and the people whispered that the veil was thin here, and that the sky itself sometimes opened to show what should not be seen. It was then that the elders would speak of the Loho, the Hallow storm dancers. These were spirits of the restless dead, warriors who had died in rage or betrayal, and they were said to only appear in the lightning flashes. Their bodies were half-formed shadows, caught forever in a moment of death. They whirled across the ridges of the storm clouds, dancing their grief, their mouths open wide in silent screams. It was believed that only those with the gift of second sight could see them. And it wasn't always good. Sometimes, when you seen them, it meant you were marked. Now, my ancestor was one who scorned these tales, and his name was Brude. Dark of hair and black eyes, his skin was said to be so pale it resembled milk. When the elders had gathered that night in the firelight, the storm winds had begun clawing, and they spoke softly, with fear and reverence. The Loho dance tonight, croaked Elder Mal, and his eyes turned towards the lightning. Aye, they dance for those who cannot escape, added Elder Ethan. Her hands trembled and gripped her staff tighter. Ugh, said Brude with a harsh laugh. Ugh, I hae fought in battles, and I hae seen men's head split like logs. These are no mere sparks in the sky, thunder playing tricks upon frightened minds. The elders looked at one another and began shaking their heads. Mock not what you do not understand, boy, warned Mal. The Loho dance only for those whose fate is already sealed. But Brude turned his face away, for he was a man who feared nothing. Well, so he told himself. That night the storm broke. The sky tore with fire, white light flooding the glen. And in that flash, Brude's eye caught sight of something. Dozens of shadowy forms whirling in the clouds, their arms reaching. Their feet never seemed to touch the ground, their mouths howling, though no sound could be heard. Their eyes burned white and they fixed upon him. He stumbled backwards in a panic. The elders knew what he had seen. His laughter began dying in his throat. He told himself it was madness. It was drink or exhaustion. Yet every lightning flash showed them coming closer and closer, the storm dancers circling him. Brude fled. He left the fire, the elders, the glen itself. He travelled north through forests, across rivers, even to the coasts where the seas roared like a beast. But wherever storm broke, there they were, time and time again. the Lowlhach spinning in the lightning, waiting. One night, on the cliffs above the Black Sea, a storm came down like the wrath of the gods. Brude stood with the salt spray lashing in his face, and he cried out to the sky, "Why do you haunt me? I'm nae coward, nae oathbreaker, leave me be." And in that next flash they answered. He saw among the dancers a figure he knew all too well. As he looked closer, he couldn't take his eyes off it. 'Twas his own face, twisted in agony, mouth open in the same silent scream. The dancers had not come to chase him. They had come to show him who he was to become. He fell to his knees, his heart crushed with the weight of it. You see, for all men run from their fate. But the Lowlhach reminded him, you cannot escape the storm that is yours. The elders later said his body was found on the cliffs, pale and still, with a look of terror frozen in his very eyes. And when the storm broke that night, some claimed they saw one more figure among the storm dancers, forever circling, forever bound. You see, you can turn your face for a prophecy, mock the warnings of the old ways, and flee across the lands of the living at least. But know this, destiny follows swifter than any storm, and it will claim you, whether you yield or not. I am the Highland scribe, scribe to the stones, to the winds, to the bloodlines that walk unseen, and until the fire lights again, sleep tight, wanderers.